talking song.
Howdy My Sassy Gals, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name's Lydia. I hope you stay a while. It is Vlogoween day 24. It is October 24th. I had to look down at the calendar and see what day it was. Nobody saw that. Anyway, so today I decided I'm not going to wait on anybody anymore. I'm going to go through Ironwood Hills. I'm going to take you along for the ride. Now, my costume today is very old school. It is pre-bento, pre-mesh, and what did I call this outfit? I forgot. Hold on. Let's see. Not clothing, outfits. I believe this was dragon something. Purple Dragon Demon. That was what it was. A lot of the pieces are from older stores, so I'm not going to go through them. This is an outfit I put together years ago. I thought it was pretty cool. I figured I'd go retro a little bit for a couple of days, you know. So, it's a very, very cool outfit. Very old school, like I said. This was one of the first anime heads that I used in Second Life. And of course, I can't, just use the anime head. I need to add beast ears and wings and horns and all of that. Anyway, so let's go through what you're supposed to do when you come to Ironwood Hills. Now, what you have to do is you have to go through the entire story, complete the HUD, and then you can get the presents. So the first thing you do is you click on this little ghosty guy covered in blood, and it will give you a folder, which you saw here. And in that folder, you have the IW pad, Ironwood Hills Haunting 2018. You have the Ironwood Hills flashlight, Ironwood Hills landmark, and then a note card. It tells you all of this on the side. Now this is at the entrance of Ironwood Hills. You then add both pieces, and then it will prompt you that it can act on your behalf and all of that. To prevent lag, limit view distance to 64 meters, remove any body, alpha, dance, or particle HUDs, and consider turning on show friends only. Enter the church, walk toward the coffin, and hold on tight. So, we're going to put this on. Put what I said on first. And we're going to put on the pad, and I will read you once it loads. Welcome to Ironwood Hills Tours. Ironwood Hills was founded many, many years ago by Alistair Irons until he went insane, and the town unfortunately suffered and fell apart. While the city was no longer inhabitable to your average citizen, it became a mecca for all of the spirits that once called this town home. Our tours let you explore the city at your own pace and discover terrible stories that occurred here. And who knows, you may even encounter a ghost or two. Our first location stop on the tour begins at Rosy Palm Reading. Palm reader, oracle, and spirit whisperer. Rosie is always at the heart of any sightings or happenings here. You'll find her shop on the main road in historical downtown Ironwood. To proceed the tour, just visit the next location stop on the tour. Sometimes you'll need to speak to a local to help guide you. Just remember, not everyone is friendly, and some may steer you the wrong way. Is there a way to minimize? Oh, where'd it go? I can put it back on when I'm done. So, yeah, I think there's a way to minimize it. Nice. So I just clicked the black part and it minimizes. Click it again and it will come back full so that you can read. So, what we're going to do is we're going to walk through here, which this is the church. And it said to walk through here and walk toward the coffin. Bloop. And it teleports you automatically, which is why you gave it permission to begin with. I am going to, even though it likes to be a butt to me, put everything at midnight. That is how we should be seeing things. Okay, so we need to look for, when everything loads, the rosy palm. I'm going to have it on midday because I'm not going to be able to see crap if I don't. The most ideal setting is to have this at midnight, but because my computer is a butt and likes to be a butt, there we go, now things are loading. Just stand here for a minute. Now, there's going to be a lot of pauses and all of that going through the Ironwood hills here. Still waiting on everything to resin. Now down here should be. So that's where you come in out. Kind of similar to the way it was last year. So I'm assuming, well, the town is exactly the same. I'm assuming it is probably still kind of the same structure as last year if you did the Ironwood Hills hunt last year. There's her. Oof. And yes, I'm going to lag a bit because that's just how my computer is. Please forgive for the lag. There is Miss Rosie. She'd be the first one I need to talk to, so. Hey, Miss Rosie did not text her for us. I don't know what's going on. I think my computer is lagging, but the next part did come up. Rosie Palm Reading and Oracle. Rosie is a town oracle and has been at the forefront of almost every haunting in the history of Ironwood. Recently, someone has uncovered a 100-year-old photo showing Rosie standing next to the city founder, Astor Irons. But she claims it was her great-grandmother. Rumor has it she's a witch. She lures people into town and steals their souls to keep looking eternally young. I think she takes it as a compliment on her beauty regimen. Astor Irons III was last seen alive here before his great-grandfather's butler murdered him. Percy St. Clara received a magical charm bracelet from Rosie before he went insane and killed multiple local people. Just 6 months ago, she failed an exorcism to free someone supposedly possessed by Astor Irons. She's either a very bad psychic, or she is the cause for everything. Another local that has seen a lot of activity, is the Ironwood Hills Asylum. It's a large, run-down building at the end of the street in downtown Ironwood. Conveniently located not far from Rosie's store. It makes one wonder if that is convenience or by design. Okay, so the next place we're heading to is, get that to minimize, the insane asylum. Woo! So it looks like it's like I said before, it's very similar to last year's hunt in that it's going to take you to several places around the insane asylum is this way. It's going to take you to several places around the city. And you're going to go to all different places. I'm not going to be able to show all of them today. I want to show us going into the insane asylum, let it load up, and then I'm going to cut it and come back when I am done and see it's all. And yes, there were children here, so it makes it even more spooky. But yeah. So let's get in here and let this kind of. And of course, they had to use the same font from American Horror Story. Asylum, I think. I think that's the same font from American Horror Story Asylum. But they used it for Ironwood Asylum. Oh, we've got overturned wheelchairs and all sorts of kind of things here. And then the person we talked to is this lovely lady who actually textured for us, so that's pretty cool. And our little pad is loading. Let's get to the next part. Of course, I'm not going to have it filming the entire time. I will cut and come back to when I come to the next part and read the next part for you guys. So, Ironwood Asylum has housed far more patients than you expect in a small town. People either start out crazy or quickly become that way. The last patient here was Percy St. Clair. He went on a killing spree and took out some crazy celebrities, those poor cats. More were rehoused, but some kept reliving the same nightmare over and over. They really paid the price. They tried reopening the asylum after the possession incident, but things didn't work out well. And now the possession incident they're talking about is if you did the hunt last year, you learned all about that and what happened with that, and then you found out that Astor was killed by Percy, and you found out all about that. So they are tying the stories in and keeping them relatable, so that's pretty cool. There's a spirit of an old woman that haunts the place. She had a sad story where her entire family and the man she loved all died in a fire just before she found out she was pregnant. Her great-grandson, Astor Irons, the fifth, that is the fifth, right? Yeah, I think that's the fifth, recently celebrated his 60th birthday, which, with her cursed family history, is quite a milestone. In fact, Astor almost never made it to 16 after a crazy tried to kidnap him, something that eerily happened to his father as well. To find out more about Sarah's family, you may want to visit the Ironwood Theater. Her family originally owned the building before it was burned down, but Mr. Woods tried to unsuccessfully restore it. He was more interested in cashing in on the tragedy. So we now have to go to the theater. As you can see, we're here in Mr. Wood's office, and you click Mr. Wood's behind the desk. And I did not realize, but each person when you click them says something. So Madam Rosie, oh, you're on the tour. I'd offer you a reading, but I've touched too many hands today. Oh my, your aura looks weak. This town sucks the life right out of people, literally. I don't know why people stay, but then they can't leave. Just like, never mind. And then when I click Sarah in the asylum, you look familiar. Do I know you? It's my great-grandson's birthday soon. He turned out to be a good boy, despite his mother's drunken ways, and the person she hooked up with, always keeping an eye on Astra. Creepy. Up to no good, if you ask me. And then I clicked Mr. Woods and Mr. Woods. It was a horrible review. But you see, my play, it wasn't as bad as they said it was. You can tell me the truth. We're kindred spirits. I don't know after reading these hateful words. I just needed to think. So I went down to the beach and, okay, maybe I've had a few drinks and blacked out. What even happened down there? Well, that's what he says there. Then we go here. Demonic Snooze Fest. New play fails to impress people. Ironwood Theater, with its exposed wood beams and luscious vegetation that would make a groundskeeper green with envy, provided the only atmosphere during the familiar tale of things that go bump in the night. The Demon Among Us opened last night with all the animation, suspense, and sex appeal of a Victorian waxworks in a seaside amusement park. It was less about the person among us, but who among us was still awake in the end. Don't assume you have seen the worst before experiencing the latest offer from Mr. David Woods. We promise an accurate retelling of the local fable and a forbidden love story, traffic fire, and then 120 minutes of Mr. Woods patting himself on the back for restoring a cherished landmark. It's worth noting that the so-called restoration clearly did not happen, as despite when one can simply look around and see the reality. If you are to sit through the intermissionless rambling mess, you will have every drop of your sympathy, commisery, and condolence. Plus, if it were mine to give the Purple Heart, if you owe a present to your most hated relatives, you might want to buy them tickets to the Demon Among Us. Here's hoping that someone with a good taste hides all of Mr. Wood's pins in the future. So that's what he was talking about there, but doesn't really give us the next clue as to where to go. Here we are at the beach, And I have clicked this gentleman here. Let's see what he says in local. Caretaker Chris. Ugh. This place is just ain't the same. Fish don't bite. Can't even enjoy the view after seeing a dead body floating nearby. I should just go enjoy a few rides at the amusement park. Ugh. The damn clown gives me the creeps. More than this place. Screw it. So, the caretaker. Body washed up on the beach. The body has been identified as local theater owner David Woods. The Ironwood Sheriff's Office is investigating a drowning along the beach. A male victim was found in the water by a local gravedigger who was out fishing around 7 a.m. Friday morning. Wait a minute. We just talked to Mr. Woods. It is not known how long the body had been there before being discovered. I had just sat down and cast out a line when I saw it. I wasn't sure what it was at first because it was snared up in the netting and vegetation, wadded up out. I can't read that, there's something over it. It was something. I thought it was a seal or something. As I got nearer, I caught a whiff of it and knew whatever it was that was long dead. That's when I saw it was a body, bobbing up and down, all bloated, and ran out and called the sheriff immediately. I don't think it was that kid that went missing. Well, one of the kids. I don't know who it is. The eyewitness was reported to have said. 2 boys went missing recently after visiting the abandoned amusement park, but the sheriff's office has stated that this is an unrelated incident. The sheriff's office said this drowning is possibly a suicide. The medical examiner has not determined the exact cause of death at this time, but it is believed that the person either jumped or fell from the nearby bridge. The person is described as an older male in his 50s or 60s with dark hair, around 6 foot tall, and wearing a suit. There was no identification on the body except for a soggy, unreadable page, the Ironwood Tribune. Alright, so it looks like we're heading to the amusement park next. Thought I'd point out real quick how creepy it is coming up on the abandoned amusement park. Now this is an abandoned amusement park, so yeah, this is really creepy. Okay, onward we go. Just wanted to point out that, nothing's creepier than a carousel that blinks in and out when you turn certain ways. I don't know if you can see that, but when you turn, it'll turn solid, but when you're out like this, it's blinking in and out. It's also raining here, so that doesn't add to the creepy factor at all. I'll actually show you what it looks like at midnight. I'm not doing it at midnight because there's thunder, lightning, you see it lightning up, and then the carousel blinking in and out doesn't help. Then you have to scoot in. I think it's because it's mesh, but it's kind of slightly a little bit creepy. And you can see the thunder lighting up I will say, aesthetic. they have done a good job. Yep, there goes blinking in and out again. I thought I would show that to you guys as an added little thing. Alright, we are here talking with Bubbles. Bubbles just wanted to play with the Bubbles, with Bubbles' favorite. Wonder when more people will come and play with Bubbles. Just not the mad ones. No. Mad ones make the boy run away. But mad one is a sad one now. So, creepy clown, they're first to him in third person. Ironwood Hills Amusement Park. The amusement park arrived during a time when Ironwood Hills was a thriving city and people would flock there for a good time every night. At least until the curse it brought with it started spreading to the rest of the town. People visited less and less, and when the flood happened, which you can see as we're standing here, it is completely flooded. Let's see, where was I? The lesson was, when the flood happened, they were unable to move on. Since then, it has become a beacon for a lot of undesirables, including twin brothers Chuckles and Bubbles, who took ownership of it. Chuckles skipped town after he was flagged as a person of interest after a number of local kids went missing. His brother Bubbles claimed it was a case of discrimination based on the fact that they both were employed as clowns, and the sheriff in particular had a huge hatred of them. The children continued to go missing, and eventually Chuckles was cleared of any wrongdoings, but never returned to town. Bubbles still lives and works at the amusement park, although attendance is particularly at a zero save for a few brave particularly at zero, saved for a few brave souls, and has become a haven for teenagers to prank each other. So, Frankie is the next person we talk to. Have you seen my brother? The clown dared us to spend the night in the house. I got scared and came out, but I can't find my brother. Do you think he's still inside? Or did he get kidnapped like Alistair? Wait, please. I just want to find my brother. Will you help me? And then the next thing on our pad. Can't get this part to load for me. It's being a butt. But, I figured I would let you know. You can read it if you can get it to load. I can't get the text to load enough I can read it. But you talk to Frankie here, and then you go in the house. And you head up the stairs in the house, and at Christian's at the top of the stairs, right there. You click him. Yeah, I'm just fine, but I can't leave the house. I'm stuck here. I need you to do me a favor. The other spirits have been whispering about Alistair. He's in trouble. The demon wants to take over his body. You just gotta stop it. He lives in the trailer. Tell him to run. And let's see if this will come up and actually... Oh, there we go. Yes, the Sanderson Manor. The Sanderson family is almost as old as the Irons, but with a much less public history. Little is known of the sisters who originally built the house, other than that they never married. They were rarely seen around town and had their supplies shipped from across country. Many rumors sprung up to try to explain the mysteries surrounding them, such as hereditary disease keeping them confined to their home, or that they were witches. The latter gained a lot of support when it was discovered that the Sandersons, get it, Sandersons, had connections to Rosie, the town's oracle. After the Sandersons died, the manor went into disrepair and was eventually abandoned. Since each sister passed away inside the manor, it was rumored that it was haunted. It was fueled by teenagers who took to pranking and daring each other to spend the night in the house alone. It is believed that that is what happened to Frank and Christian, two brothers who were recently found deceased on the property. Their necks had been broken, and foul play was suspected. The sheriff's office suspected the deaths were linked to the missing children over the past 2 years. Okay, we are out here with Katie. What do you mean a demon wants Alistair? Don't you remember what you did? You took my boy, my little baby. I trusted you all those years. I wish I had never found you, laying next to that anvil. You ruined my life. You ruined my life worse than booze. God, I need a drink. Okay, and that's what she said in local. Get rid of that. Katie Zaynton was born and raised in Ironwood Hills, and is survived by one son, Alistair Irons V. She had a huge heart and an even bigger personality. She was a regular at several bars across the city, and would sadly be missed by all. The memorial is set for Rhodey's Bar, and everyone is welcome to attend. Let's see, Bunny Girl. Katie was actually nobody who only claimed she got knocked up by guy who died. No one's gonna miss her. Katie, babe, you were one hell of a chick. Gonna miss our late night drinking parties. The crazy ones always have the best beds. Crazy ones are always best in bed. R.I.P. I made $3,500 a month working from home. You can too. Visit this website to earn money now. So it's a memorial for Katie. So if you've not realized it yet, everybody we're talking to are ghosts. Everybody in this town are ghosts. But careful, because some of these ghosts might steer us the wrong way. Luckily, the bar that we had to go to is right across the way from where she lived. This has got to be the worst turnout for a memorial ever. Poor Katie. She may have been a no-good drunk, but at least she did her boy proud in the end. People gotta learn never to poke a mama bear. Here's to you. Cheers. Well, that's what he said in local. Fright at the museum. Theft and murder at the museum. Stumps Sheriff's Office. A local woman is dead in an apparent homicide at the museum inside of Nightfall Castle. The incident happened yesterday, following the museum closing for the day. The sheriff's office has declined to give any further information, but the security officer spoke to the Tribune under the promise of anonymity. Once he was... That was creepy. That, under the promise of anonymity, since he was not authorized to speak publicly. I thought they were just the last visitors of the day. A cute cute couple and a teenager. They seemed normal at first. The one kept looking at the case with the sacrificial knife, thought maybe a knife collector. Kept talking to the air and twitching, and the other seemed really uncomfortable and was trying to move closer to the exit. Then I heard this voice, a really loud male voice. It sounded otherworldly, and said, "Do it," over and over. I don't know what was going on, so I moved in and asked if they needed help. I got knocked across the room. Didn't even look that strong to me. Someone broke the case and grabbed the knife and lunged it at the kid. And then the woman, I guess was his mother, jumped in the way and she got stabbed. Blood was everywhere. The kid ran off and I stayed with the woman until the ambulance arrived. The woman, Katie Zaynton of Ironwood Hills, unfortunately died at the scene. No further details were released. No suspect is in custody, and the investigation is ongoing. So it looks like we're heading to the museum. And like that, we are at the museum through the magic of editing. We're skipping, the parts where I'm roving around for 20 minutes trying to find the place. That poor kid losing his mom like that. I hope he's gonna be okay, and I hope we caught the damn crazy. They need to suffer for what they did. I bet that monster down at the barn had something to do with it. Always chanting and going who knows and doing who knows what. If that ain't what, and who knows what, it just ain't right. My brain can't read today. All right. The museum was a final manifestation. 15 years ago, a person was tricked to a platform to perform a ritual that they believed within the nightmare of Alistair Irons. It didn't. Instead, it transferred his essence into them and laid dormant, waiting, watching. Alistair Irons needed to possess a direct descendant in order to once again walk the land of the living. Alistair Irons V had not even been born yet, but on his 16th birthday he was set to become one of the most powerful creatures on the planet. So they waited. So you waited. It's normal to not remember at first. Katie found you slumped over an anvil in the cemetery. She nursed you back to health, and you stayed with her and the baby. You watched him grow up and taught him to play catch. You probably didn't even know Alistair had possessed you. What a twist. And this is probably the creepiest scene we've seen so far. Druid. You ended his reign. He is gone. You must move on and rid yourself of those burdens. Go to the cemetery and find peace. This is where you brought him. He struggled and begged to be let go. He didn't understand what was happening. Neither did you. As we chanted our ritualistic words, you could feel the heavy darkness start to lift. The demon Alistair was finally leaving. your body. The boy's screams started to quieten down. The transfer of essence was working. Do you remember what you did? The glint of a knife as you raised it above your head, your hand no longer possessed and controlled by the demon, once more having free will to thrust the knife into yourself to stop the ritual. You freed yourself from the possession. You freed the boy from the cruel fate. And with nowhere to go, the demon dies with you. Do you remember now? Do you need to do the tour again? Kudos Ironwood. That was a nice little twist. I like that. So we are on to the cemetery from here. I did want to kind of show you this scene here though first real quick. Apparently these are druids, and they are on the summoning circle, which I think is a very, very cool, floating around here. Not menacing at all, not creepy, not very Silent Hills-esque feel to it, vibe to it. Especially this druid dude, man, he's intense, very creepy. But I guess in the end, it was me coming here, killing Astor within myself, and also killing myself. So, big plot twist: I am a ghost, apparently. And that comes to the conclusion of the Ironwood Hills hauntings, with the handbook for the recently deceased. You made it. Congratulations, you finished the game. We hope you enjoyed the Halloween 2018 story, the final story of our trilogy about Alistair Irons. Oh, it's kind of sad. There won't be any more. I didn't do the first one. I did the second one and then the third part here, but I did not do the first part. I wish I had. I didn't know about it. I think I may have been away from Second Life when that happened. You may return to the event area and collect your prizes. We want to thank the designers that worked hard to bring you this awesome post-apocalyptic horror items, and of course your free prizes. Until next time, Iron Hill staff, Cyrus Knight, Jester Knight, and Saber Matove. Can't say that last name. So that was the end of the Ironwood haunting, and the end of Alistair Irons, which is kind of sad because I always have a blast doing these things, and I will probably do this more than once. I'll probably bring my daughters back through, but I wanted to get this filmed. So we've got cute, creepy little stuff that you can get as a prize here. I'm not going to show me going around to all of these, but there's a little like prize area here, and all of the places have prizes, and it looks like there might be more down the way there. So come check it out. It is definitely worth your time. It is fun. It is a blast. And a very surprising plot twist at the end there. I thought it was a very, very awesome. So come on down to Ironwood Hills and check it out. And I had a blast. So I will catch you on the flip side. Stay spooky, because that's what we do around here.